Hello, everyone. Great to see so many of you joining us. We've had some small technical issues at the start of the webinar, but we are good to begin in a few short seconds. Let me just share my screen. There we go. All right. So hi, everyone. Great to see so many of you here today, and welcome to this webinar where we will talk about Autodesk Forma and how the software can be used in early phase projects to make better design choices through analysis and decision support. This webinar is a joint collaboration between Symetri and the Forma team, and we're very happy that you wanted to join us today. My name is Katarina, and I work as a customer success manager here in the Forma team. And I'll be leading the start of the webinar today, giving you an introduction to Forma and talking a little bit about some of the key capabilities. And then Torbjörn from Symetri is going to give you a demo towards the end of the webinar today, showcasing some of the capabilities and what's possible in action. We also have Hamon on the call, who works as a sales development representative here in the Forma team. And then we have Jesper, who's a technical marketing manager, who's going to be helping us out with the questions in the chat as we go through today. So please feel free to pop your questions in the chat, and we will try to address them as we go. And then we'll do a wrap up at the end as well with a Q&A. We also have Tor from Symetri, who's having some technical issues joining, but he will be with us very shortly. But I suggest that we kick off so that we get through everything that we want to talk about today. All right, so the agenda for today is going to be as follows. We're going to start by introducing Forma and explaining the transition from SpaceMaker to Forma, and how and why our approach has changed through that transition. We'll also touch upon how the Forma in-market offering relates to the longer-term industry cloud vision that we have at Autodesk. Then we'll give an overview of the key capabilities in the software as of now, before diving into why and how Forma can be used as a tool in early phase planning and design, talking you through some common use cases. And then finally, as I mentioned, Torbjörn will do a demo of the software showcasing some of the capabilities in action before we dive into the Q&A. And I have to apologize for this wall of text. It's one of those slides that we have to add when we're talking about product capabilities and making forward-looking statements. But essentially what it says is that anything we say regarding planned or future development efforts are not intended to be a guarantee, but it's based on our best judgment based on known factors at the moment. So just keep that in mind as we go through today. So what is Forma? Well, Forma is a cloud-based software for planning and early phase building design that offers both drawing and analysis capabilities. And the first version of Forma that some, if not all of you, have access to builds on SpaceMaker and Formit capabilities, which some of you may be well familiar with already. But in addition to being a software on the market now, Forma is also the first part of a longer-term industry cloud vision that we have here at Autodesk. And the goal of this longer-term vision is to expand the capabilities of Forma to also include several other verticals, such as water, transport, and industry, in addition to later project phases, which the illustration here tries to show. But now, as I said, the Forma in-market offering that you have access to via your AEC collections, and which is the focus of the webinar today, is situated here in the left-hand corner with planning of buildings, and especially residential and commercial buildings. I also want to spend a few minutes explaining the transition from SpaceMaker to Forma, as I believe we have many in the audience who have used SpaceMaker previously and might be wondering why we have essentially rebuilt the software. So I want to shed some light on that. And while the first iteration of Forma looks a lot like SpaceMaker, it's actually a lot more than that. And SpaceMaker was a powerful point solution for early stage planning. But as I mentioned, Forma is also the starting point of this unified design environment that we envision one day becoming kind of this AEC industry cloud. And our approach to decision support, the use of artificial intelligence, and also our focus on interoperability with other tools has changed quite a bit since we launched SpaceMaker 5 years ago. And I want to take you through that transition. So when SpaceMaker Gen 1, as we can call it, was first launched in 2018, we tried to solve site layouts with generative design, and AI was really at the center of our approach at that time. I was part of the team back then, and the idea was that you could input some parameters, click a red button, and SpaceMaker would present some volume solutions. And although we experienced high demand for more data-driven ways of developing projects, this approach didn't work very well. The tool was simply too inflexible, and there were a number of things that AI couldn't answer very well. In addition, it was difficult to define the number of constraints and the limit of constraints to consider when generating these layouts. So we had to think new, and we then developed the SpaceMaker Generation 2, which I'm sure some of you have tested. And here our approach was that artificial intelligence should serve more as a resource to support users, but it shouldn't be in the focus. So here we supported clients with analyses, optimization, and also site studies. But the architect or the planner or the developer was very much in the driving seat of the creative process. And we think Gen 2 was an important step in the right direction. It sped up this data and outcome-driven way of working. But still, we had some things that we wanted to do better. One thing was we thought it was really important to avoid becoming another silo within the industry. SpaceMaker was also quite inflexible. It was not so easy to integrate the tool into a workflow with other tools. And we had to offer flexibility in our solution to support a growing global customer base. So that's why this year we launched Forma, and it is in continuous development and has been in continuous development since then. And to solve the challenges that I mentioned, we decided to build Forma using a whole new technical infrastructure. And this enables product scaling and also focuses even more on interoperability than we were able to do with SpaceMaker previously. So next I want to give you an overview of some of the key capabilities. And I won't go through everything because Torbjörn is going to be showing you some of this in the demo later. But a central part of our philosophy and strategy when now building Forma is to build a software with openness and extendability in mind. And for this reason, you'll notice that Forma consists both of capabilities that we have built ourselves, that you can see here at the top, and also of tools and extensions that are built by third parties or in collaboration with third parties. So the first component of Forma is contextual modeling, and our goal is that it should be quick and easy to start working in 3D from day one. So when you set up a project in Forma, you have the opportunity to order some relevant data to the project from data suppliers with whom we currently have agreements with. This varies from country to country and from region to region. And for example, in Sweden, we fetch contextual buildings and property boundaries and also terrain data from Lantmäteriet. However, we are also building this data portal, if you will, with openness in mind. So this means that more suppliers do have the opportunity to connect with Forma down the line and also offer their data through the software. The second component is the design tooling, and Forma does have its own design tool which you can sketch in, and in which it's also now possible to draw more advanced models. This was an important feedback that we got with SpaceMaker, and which we are now trying to do something about. However, we also know that there are so many good modeling tools on the market already that our customers are happy with, and we have therefore also put in place integrations with Rhino and Revit per now, so that you can draw in those tools and still benefit from the analysis capabilities that exist in Forma. And in addition, we have several third parties who also offer their design functionality through the software. Here you can see those extensions and desktop integrations that exist currently. I won't go through all of these, but you do have the Revit and Rhino add-ins, as I mentioned. In addition, you have the test-fit parking generator and a shape diver building generator that runs on Grasshopper scripts to create mesh buildings. As of recently, there's also a Dynamo player where you can run Dynamo scripts from Forma, and also something called Evolve Lab, which is essentially an AI-powered visualization app that works with SketchUp, Revit, Rhino, and now also Forma. And then finally, at the bottom, we have the Shadow Study extension, where you can run shadow scripts at certain dates and times, and then export this to your reports. Last but not least, I'd like to highlight the decision support that you get through the various environmental analyses that you have access to, including sun, daylight, noise, wind, microclimate, operational energy, and as of quite recently, also solar energy. And we believe that it's a great strength to be able to gather this insight in one place and to be able to ensure the quality in what you draw from a very early stage. And this makes it possible to detect risk, and hopefully also can contribute to more in better projects, essentially. And here it's also possible for third parties to develop more analyses. Since we do have a global customer base, we are unable to build very localized analyses ourselves for each market, and rely on the help of third parties to help us do this where there is a high demand. So for example, Symetri, as our partner, is currently building an outdoor area analysis that's been very highly sought after in the Norwegian market, which we're very grateful for and also very reliant on to make Forma work. Here you can see an overview of the analyses that are in the software today, which I'm sure Torbjørn will show some of later on. So why should you consider Forma in early phase design, and why have we started with early phase as kind of the focus point of Forma? There are many reasons for that, but we've focused on early stage because we know that there is an enormous potential value in early phase if we are able to make good and well-informed project decisions early on. And according to Skanska, more than 50% of a housing project's value can actually be realized in the earliest design phase. In addition, the decisions that we make in early phase often become very important for the project as it lives on, and it can be very expensive to make changes down the line. And that's what this graph tries to illustrate. So the further into the project you get, the more expensive it is to make changes, whilst early on in the project, you have the most design freedom, it's easiest to control costs. And at the same time, which I'm sure some of the architects in the room can relate to, early phase is often characterized by relatively little time and sometimes low budgets. And that's why we think we need good tools for the early phase to help us solve problems effectively. So next, I want to speak briefly about some common use cases. Firstly, And probably the primary use case is conceptual design, and within that, volume and feasibility studies, where you want to get a quick overview of the massing potential on a site and assess the qualities of those volumes using the analysis tools. So we often see architectural firms apply this use case in competitions, for example, to strengthen their entries, or as a client to assess competition entries side by side. The next use case I think we can group under decision support in the form of these quality analyses that I've mentioned, where you get nearly instant feedback as you draw. And we think, as I mentioned, that this is a strength to be able to see the trade-offs between different qualities early on to make informed decisions. And last but not least, documentation. We see that many customers use material from Forma to document and communicate various aspects of their designs and explain their design intent. So either internally in a project team or out towards the municipality or a client. So in summary, Forma can help accelerate and streamline site planning by getting into a 3D environment quickly, gathering the necessary data to get started, and helping you draw, generate, or import design concepts that you can iterate on. Then, secondly, improve collaboration and communication within a project team or towards a customer, having a strong fact base to describe your design intent with. And then finally, we believe that having access to all this data early on, especially on living qualities that we might not always be able to consider at once, can strengthen the overall design and help you make more well-informed design decisions. And the last point that I mentioned is actually a nice segue to this customer story, which is the last thing that I'll present before giving the word over to Torbjørn for the demo. This is a video by the Nordic Office of Architecture, who have an office here in Oslo, who is a Symetri customer, and they have been using Forma for a while as a common starting point for some of their projects, and it's given them a new way of designing and collaborating in early phase. And what they emphasize in the video that you'll see in a minute is how the complexity of their projects is increasing, and therefore it's even more important than before to have access to data early that can inform decisions that are made and also help to future-proof concepts and hopefully then reduce the amount of rework that needs to be done. So I'll let them describe that in their own words, and I need to just share my video with you. Hang on a minute. Nordic Office of Architecture video. Here we go. And then I will play this.
In just one generation, we have gone from the pencil to AI, and this development is extremely exciting to follow. We're always looking for tools that could improve the creation process, that can create better architecture. At Nordic, we see that new technology can improve processes radically. We can automate processes, we can free up more time for creative processes, and we can radically improve collaboration.
We're finding that if we invest the time and energy into creating a digital strategy at the start of a project, we can influence the way the design processes work and define the tools that match those processes. The increasing complexity of projects affects the way we work and the way that we need to understand more about our projects earlier on. Not only that, but we need to be able to provide the data to other parties at all different times of the projects and also receive data that affects the way we make our decisions.
I think that this complexity is much about creating sustainable, future-proof buildings. These new technologies open up new ways of handling that complexity. In the early design phases, the main frame of the design is laid. So we make decisions that are following through the entire design. So having rich data sets in this early phase design is vital. We see that new tools like Forma open up new possibilities for design and collaboration.
Forma has enabled us to pull architects into a digital platform in the early phase, forming projects with informed data, allowing them to compare design alternatives and not only that, reach an optimized result. We're really excited about the ability for this data and geometry to move forward into a next phase, which allows us to remove that level of rework that we're used to between these two phases.
Having a better data flow will mean less loss of data, meaning that all the information that is established in the design phase will follow through to the operational phase. I think this opens up new possibilities for architects because traditionally we have been following the creation process throughout the construction phase and then left the assignment. This will mean that the architect can actually develop new services. We can follow the building in a much longer perspective, meaning a better holistic approach and a better quality in the entire life cycle.
And in that sense, we're really excited about the way that we can design more sustainable, more informed architecture using digital technology to assist us in those processes.
All right, I hope the quality of that video was good and that you were able to see it without too much lag. We can also share this in the follow-up email that you'll receive after the webinar. So with that, I will hand over the word to Torbjørn, who's going to be giving a demo of some of the capabilities.
Thank you very much, Katrina. Could you please make me a presenter and I will get on with things.
Change presenter. Torbjørn. There, now you should be able to share your screen.
There we go. That should be working, I think.
Yes.
Perfect. It seems that today it is more difficult to get this working than it is to get my webcam working. So thank you very much. My name is Torbjørn. I work for the Symetri Stockholm office, and I'm quite happy to show you Forma today. It's an exciting platform. Just like we just heard, it's things happening, and the latest news on Forma that made me sit awake all night this weekend was quite exciting. So things are happening and it's a cool thing. And what we're seeing right now is the way that the entrance to Forma. So it's a web application, of course, so you don't download anything. It's just run it in Google Chrome. And you might also notice that quite a few of my colleagues have been creating projects to the left and right now because it's quite fun. I'm going to use a prepared project, but I will just show you just quickly how it works to start a new project in Forma. So if I just click New Project, you get the entire world. I suspect that there is not equal amounts of data in all over the world, but at least some of it works. And I will zoom into Stockholm here. Once you find the area that you would like to enhance or investigate or whatever we should call it, you basically just double click and confirm the map area, and the Forma will start downloading the geographical information for that site. And if we cheat a little bit and jump to a project which was prepared, this is what you will actually see. So this is actually the visible result directly from that. So this is an area of Stockholm. It is the topography that was mentioned coming in from the Swedish survey authorities. I haven't touched this, what you're seeing here at all. This is exactly what you get straight away. For those people who know Stockholm, maybe it was you will recognize it already, but it is the area called Hagalund, which is an area that was developed in the 60s, unfortunately. And you might start by simply checking the existing conditions of this site, which you can do here on the right side. It says analyze, and perhaps the first analyze, how sunny is it in this area of Stockholm right now? So I just click the entire site like that, just run the analysis, and it will start analyzing the sun energy of this existing site in Stockholm. And as a good practice, you should probably limit the area that you are investigating, but it usually runs quite quickly. And while it is running, you can do anything you want, compared to other earlier applications where you had to wait for it, or that. And you can make several analyses, and the analysis will be saved in the background. So you can always refer back to your analyze. And that's the reason why I'm doing the analyze now, because it could be good to see if I have enhanced the area or if I haven't. So let's just take a look at this analyzing here. So sun hours on this particular site in the beginning of June or middle of June looks something like this. So this is the Forma analyze for sun energy. And in my pretend project, I would like to improve this area in the middle here. So we'll try to get some ideas what we could do in this area. And right now I tend to keep the original ones. So I will just make a duplicate of that. So you can always make duplicates of your proposals. So it's kind of like Revit with design options built in all the time. So I just make a duplicate, and then I'm free to start enhancing the area. And this building here in the middle, I think I'm considering demolishing that area. So I will also make a copy of the data that I have. So the original data here, I will make a copy of that. And I will call that one original copy, because that's a good name. So now I can actually change the existing things differently between every proposal. So I will go down here and I will say that, let's make sure this one is using the base. So just select this building, and I will delete that one. Well, yes, click that one, delete it. This building over here, let's get rid of that one as well, and these tiny ones over here. That's basically what they did in the 60s. So now I have some nice areas here. I will try to build something on it. So I can do this in two ways. I could go up to the magic wand, which is similar to the automatic ways that we had before in SpaceMaker, perhaps. Or I can go down here where it says line building and basic building. And let's try the magic wand first. So I will start the magic wand, and I can either draw it or select an existing. So I will select an existing. So let's do the magic wand on this one. So just by clicking, I get a suggested solution for this site. Could be used as an inspiration or something like that. So I get, let's see, I have like 10 different ideas here. Can do that one perhaps. No, this one feels better. And the ideas that you get, you are able to configure them here on the right side. So I can configure them as going, I want linear buildings, I don't want city blocks. You can just uncheck that one, and you immediately get some other ideas for how to solve this site. So just leave it like that, perhaps. If I think I'm allowed to build higher, let's see, am I allowed to build higher? If I go for 8, or maybe I go for 12 levels, something like that, perhaps. Let's leave that one. I just press enter, and I can just straight away go in and let's learn an analyzing for this area right now and see what happens. And once again, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to create a site limit and just study the area that I'm looking at, but now it will analyze the entire Solna again. While that one is running, I can also bring in some more information into this. So it's kind of hard to know what I'm actually allowed to do on this site. So I can add more information to this. So if I go here on the library, I can simply add here more information from different kinds of sources. So here I have the buildings and the terrain I got automatically. If I want, I can go here and order more information. So these are the information that is available basically to me from Forma, from the team. So just like Katrin said, I can get the buildings from Lantmäteriet. I can get the terrain information from Lantmäteriet, the roads from Trafikverket, the property boundaries, and if I would like to, I can take in these things from OpenStreetMap. And there's a little bit of a star symbol on that one that says for free. It is actually for free right now. And the major news I received last week is that now Autodesk and Lantmäteriet have a new agreement. So these buildings and this terrain actually goes into Revit if you would like to put it into Revit. So you can transfer your terrain to Revit. You can transfer the buildings that you see here to Revit. And I will try to make a smaller project, and we'll see if it actually works. So while I was talking, I actually made the sun analysis. So let's have a look here and see the sun analysis for this. So in a few seconds, I get the result for, ooh, that doesn't look good. So this area down here is not, I'm not very good with plants and flowers and trees and stuff, but that doesn't look comfortable at all. So I think I probably need to do something about that. So I will go back here and I will see, let's see if we can make something more clever on this one. This first building here, I think 12 floors, that's really too much. I will lower it to 4. And I can simply do another analysis. And now I will have both the analyses ready for, if I click the button as well. So now I will have a second analyze, and I will be able to compare if this analyze was better than the other analyze, and so on. And we'll see if that one actually finish. While it is running, I actually downloaded the image from the city authorities. So I will just try to place an image here. And this is simply an image I downloaded from the internet just yesterday. I will place it somewhere on my site. Let's see if it is visible even. So move to base. See. It seems that, yeah, there it is. Yeah, there was some technical issues here. So here's actually an image I downloaded from the official site. This is a 1960s detail planning for this place. And just when I put that one in, I realized I took the wrong one. So let's pull in this one instead. Place that one somewhere here where I will find it. And I can just place the official authority information here. So I actually know that I'm not overstepping my bounds or something like that. Let's just rescale this one. So I will select that building, this building, and just scale the image so it fits the existing conditions on site. Just pull that one out, snap it over there, and then I have an image draped over my topography with the official specifications for this site. And it seems that I'm in the wrong area completely. So I will need to fix this. So let's just say that I will take this building. I will do something better because it seems that this solution really didn't work. I'm in the wrong area completely. I'm supposed to be in the blue area. So I will going to create either a line building or a basic building. So a line building works like this. You click and you place a line. And once you're done, you press enter. You have a line building. Line buildings are quite easy to build. You just simply click lines, of course. Basic buildings can have any shape. So go there, press enter. If I go on a basic building, it looks basically like this. You can simply click a shape that you think is interesting. And you will have a basic building in the middle. Either of these, you can go in and specify a bit more. So I can click on these buildings and I can add, I can change the height of them. and I can change the floor height of every level. And when they are line buildings, they will actually change all of them, which is a little bit of a pain. So right now I will just configure this one. I will double click on it, and I can move around the splits in this building. So maybe it should be divided up, something like that. This one I can pull out a little bit more. Then I move the split over there, and I move the split over there. I just double click outside. This building over here, I double click on it, I pull it back a little bit like that. Double click outside. So line buildings are good for the earliest of early placement. So after this, I simply click the line building, and I go over here where it says release. So once I release it, it will become a little bit different building, because now I can select each and every one of these and simply go and change whatever height and level I would like to do. So if this one's in the front, I want them to be slightly lower. This one over here, maybe that's like 4 floors. These ones, I'm probably allowed to build them quite higher. Let's do those 8, like that. And something that's pretty new in Forma is that you can actually go into these now and specify the floor plans of them. So if you click one of these and you go here on floor plans, just click floor plan, and you come into some kind of simple paint program, or, well, I shouldn't say AutoCAD program, but a simple CAD program. And using lines, you can just divide this one into the different areas where you think you will have apartments. So I'm just using the shortcut for line, which is here. Go over there, line over there. Once they are like split apart, I can click each and every one. I can go over here and say this one is a unit, that's an apartment. This one is core, which is a like vertical circulation staircases. So just click these ones and say you are units. And now you can see all these 3 have units. And if I go back, I can actually use the simplest of analyzing, which is to see how many units I have. So in this one, I have 6 units of that size, and I have 6 units of that size. And these floor plans I can actually save. So if I go here and I say, let's save this to the library, add to library, and then I can reuse them. So I can go here and I can just stamp this one on that. Let's see if I do that one. Click on it, and I can simply stamp it with the other one. And if I want to change the rest of my area, the panning thing is a little bit off in here. Somebody should tell the dev people. So since I have a kind of good solution, I can double click the next one, the next building. You see that it's blue over here. Let's click the floor plan, R for rotate, bang, place it in. And I can start placing the next levels. So let's see, let's go there, R for rotate, double click the next building, there, R for rotate, next building, something like that. And I think I forgot that one up there. And just by doing this, I have created units on each and every one. So each and every one except the corner building here and these ones. Oh yeah, we should do those. So double click that one. Here, go units on that one, double click that one, and do units on that one. Go back, and now I know I have 32 floor. If I select all of my buildings, there, I have 192 floor apartments. So this is completely new in Forma, the way that you draw the plans for your buildings, and this also translates over into Revit. So if you want to continue working with this, you will get a Revit model with the topography, the surrounding buildings, and the buildings that I have done here, transferred over with rooms, walls, etc. And I think that one came just kind of recently. So the first analyze I can do actually is selecting all my buildings and saying which building area do I have, which BTA, which gross area, which living area do I have. And I can also specify that these units are used for something else except residential. I can select that they are used for commercial use. I can select that they're used for whatever. You can create your own functions for these. In my case, I will say that all my buildings here, I hold down Shift when I'm selecting them. All of them function over here is residential. So, and this building over here, let's do that one commercial just for the sake of it there. So now all the buildings not only have units in them, which I could see again, I can also see how many square meters of commercial do I have, how many square meters of residential do I have, and all this will change as soon as I move each and every one of these around. Instead of calculating myself and trying to figure it out myself, how many units or what size of units I have. The rest of the analyzing part here is one of them, of course, is sun hours that we tried. We can run it again because it's running on the cloud, so it will just keep running and I don't need to wait for it. I can do a daylight analyze. And the daylight analyze will tell me the potential for daylight for my solutions. So where should I pay extra attention to daylight in my solution? Maybe I have some buildings sitting really, really close to each other. Maybe I should consider it. I can go for the wind analyzing. And if I start wind analyze, I get a quick wind analyze directly on the center of the site. But you can also do the more detailed analyze, which will take anywhere between 30 and 90 minutes. Most likely, if you do all of Solna, I would count a bit higher than 30 minutes. The microclimate analyze that combines the wind and the sun energy to get you a comfortable result on the area. And the operational energy, which is something I'm not very good in, I can honestly admit. Noise, if you have roads in the area, you can specify that these roads have a certain amount of traffic and a certain speed limit, and that will give you a decibel result that you can run over the site. And the latest one perhaps is the solar energy analyze, which is for solar panels and things like that. So just scratching the surface of Forma, it's way more things to look at, and it's really a fun program or solution when you start picking around with it. The coolest thing that I've seen just yesterday is perhaps the dynamo connection. So like Catherine mentioned, you can add extensions to these. And me being me, the first extension I made is the Dynamo extension. So these are normal Dynamo scripts. And for example, if I want to create balconies on one or two of these buildings here because they look so flat, I can simply make a simple Dynamo script that creates balconies on the building that I pick. Or if I would like to create level lines, which I call it. So these are real normal Dynamo scripts running. And you need to save in Dynamo, I think. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. For it to accept what I'm doing. So if you want to decorate your surroundings a bit more because you think they're a little bit flat, you can make a simple Dynamo scripts for creating lines or things like that. Or if you really wanted, you could create some very advanced Dynamo script for placing something completely random in your model. So I will click that one and we'll see if this one works because I'm not quite sure. Oh yeah, it did work. So this is my model of the scientist building at Karolinska. These buildings you can also do the analyzing for. You can get sun energy on it and the wind results that you have affected your site with. So as you perhaps notice, I really like this program. It's fun to play with. It's easy to learn, and things are happening every single day. And it's not so unusual during these demos that I go down on the help menu and I actually get the notification. Oh, I have two of them already now. That's something that's happened in Forma when I've been looking away or playing with something else. So that's a quick demo of Forma. Do we have Katrine still online?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you for the great demo, Torbjörn. I think, Tor has connected.
Yeah.
That's great.
I would like to try to do a small survey. So if all participants would be kind enough to answer when you see the options on the screen.
So Tor has created a poll, I think.
Yes. So the first question is, have you ever used SpaceMaker or Forma in delivery to a customer? Okay, still a lot of answers coming in. Okay, so about 85% answers that they have never used SpaceMaker or Forma before, and about 14–15% says they have. So the next question, do you think Forma is a product that can change the way you work in the early stages? And basically, almost everyone says yes. Thank you for that. And the third question is, how fully developed do you think Forma is to be able to achieve a complete design study with all the necessary analysis? So we have the majority of all the answers saying that about 50% of you, all of you that has given an answer, says that it's developed to between 50 and 75%. So that's interesting. And the last question, here it is. Do you think there are areas of application where Forma already today can replace other products or working methods? That is compared to what you do today and what the methods you have today work. Everyone says yes, almost everyone, 98%. Okay, thank you. We had planned to do a Q&A in the end here today, but I cannot see that there are actually no questions. So maybe we can just wait a couple of seconds. You have in the control panel to the right of your screen, you can see the questions feed. So if you want to ask someone here today a question, please do.
Well, I noticed a few questions.
Okay.
So there was a question about the shortcuts. It's quite easy. Down lowest left corner, you have a quick access kind of thing, down somewhere here, and then that will list all the shortcuts. Usually the shortcuts are one character each. Deleting volumes, I would delete them. I'm not sure, maybe you mean deleting from a part of a volume or something. If you mean deleting elements in the background, existing buildings, then simply select the building, try to delete it, and the function will tell you that you can't do it. You need to edit the base to delete the building. So the base is what you get in, and that's what I duplicated in the beginning, the original information for my buildings. So if I go here and I do the little pen here, I can go in and delete the base. You can also go in and actually create more things in the base. So if you know that something is wrong in the base, you can go in and change it. So if you know that this building is supposed to be 120, then you can go in and change that in the base. A lot of times the area of the base is not perhaps not 100%, and you can always go in and add more things in it. You can model it yourself. And the other part which is included in Forma is another application that with a name that sounds almost like Forma, so it's a bit confusing. But Autodesk have included Formit inside Forma, and Formit is the system for creating the volumes, and it's basically like using SketchUp in this. So if you need to create some really strange building, there's a 3D sketch command where you can basically model, I shouldn't say anything, but almost. And if you're good in Formit, you will recognize your way around the 3D sketch commands. So let's see. So let's see if we have anything else. Jesper has answered the licensing thing, and I'm lucky you answered that one because I don't know licensing. The workflow on going to Revit. Oh yeah, that's a funny one. It's quite simple. To send this to Revit, the only thing I need to do, first I need to exit the base. I will get rid of that one because that will slow down everything. So to send things into Revit, you basically go to one of your proposals that you think is decent enough, and you can go here. History is quite a new thing. You can show what's happened in your proposal and go back to this proposal that was good. But down here is a send to Revit, and simply click send to Revit. It will create some kind of link, some magic thing, and in Revit, I simply go for massing and site, load proposal, and load my proposal. A good idea here is to have an updated version of both the plugin and Revit. So I've done this in 24.2. So make sure that you're doing that. This will send it into Revit. If you're using the Symetri template, then please get rid of those design option things because they will mess things up. If you use the Symetri template, you know what I mean. And actually, when you have loaded the geometry in here, you can actually update it as well. So you can create things in Revit and click a button, and it will update the elements in Forma. So if I created my arena in Revit, I can also send it into Forma with just simply update proposal here, and these things will appear. But as you see, it could take a little while for it to create everything in the model. But that's how it works. Anything more on the question? Let's see.
Yeah, now we have a lot of questions.
Oh my
do you see all the questions here?
Oh yeah, I can see the questions. I can't resize it because it's easier actually to make a city planning of Solna than resizing a window as well. Right. Oh my God, there are so many questions. Tor, how are we going to handle all these?
Well, please pick your favorite questions, and then we have to sort all the questions and give answers and send them to everybody after this webinar.
Yeah. I can say that stormwater, I don't think so. Oh yeah. Now we have a superstar answering questions for me. That's just perfect. I wish it was always like that. But I will just finish up my thing by hopefully showing you how it looks in Revit when I moved everything away. So now it is actually creating rooms in Revit, but you can see that the topography is in Revit, and that's the key thing. The topography now comes into Revit. And the units that you create in Forma will become rooms in Revit. It's just that my computer really gets very tired when I do it. It's like waiting for something. Future features. There's a great roadmap on the Forma webpage. So if you're thinking of future features, go there. Tall buildings need a stable ground. Yeah. I don't know about ground parameters, so I can't answer that. But as a bit of a tip, Forma is a very tight solution. The people working on it are very open and very friendly. So go to their forum, ask questions, show what you're doing, and I'm sure you will get lots of answers that way.
Okay, great. I'll change presenter back to you, Katarina.
Yes, I thought maybe to round off today, I could show you the forum that Torbjörn mentioned, where you can read our monthly product updates and also read in the short term what's next. And then perhaps you can say a little bit about how Symetri can support clients who wish to get started with Forma going forward. So let me just show my screen first, like this. Can you see the Forma Community Knowledge Center here?
Yes.
Perfect. So each month on the Forma forum, we post these monthly product updates. And these are a great resource to be aware of, because here we share small, medium, and large updates that have happened in the last month, and also a short term, what's next, what are we working on, what are the different teams working on. So here you can read, it's quite scrappy, it's very honest about what's in the works, but it can give you a good idea of what's planned. For instance, to pull out a few highlights from the last month, we're working on a better integration between the 3D sketch modeling capabilities and the design tools, so that feels more like one tool. We're working on bringing more analysis metrics into the software so that you can have more data-backed decisions. And we're working on a Forma ideas board where you can kind of brainstorm as you go through. So definitely have a look at those. It's also worth noting that in the Forma forum, you can sign up for like feature testing if we have prototypes available. We have one now for embodied carbon, so if anyone's interested in that, go check that out. And it's a good way of asking further questions and getting in touch with us. So that's what I wanted to say on that front. Finally, let me bring up the presentation again, where perhaps you can do a voiceover for this part, Tor, how Symetri can help anyone who's looking to get started.
Okay, well, Symetri wants to hire technician as an Autodesk reseller. We are a technical partner. As most of you probably know, Symetri works with many different software solutions, both third party and our own technology. Symetri can help you with a wide range of services linked to your processes and projects, including different services regarding training and implementation of Forma. So don't hesitate to contact me or anyone at Symetri if you need any help. Okay, maybe it's time to wrap things up then. Thanks to everybody who participated, and thanks to all the presenters. Have a nice day, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.